Mila, I see you're bringing the skull in first. Great. I mean, we're going to use that primarily decoratively. Hey guys, Dave from the Wee Hours here, diving into some RimWorld. Wait, what? Hey, wait a minute, Dave. You've done an awful lot of RimWorld on the channel. You stream it like twice a week. There's been multiple series of RimWorld. What's going on? Yeah, I've played a lot of RimWorld, an excessive amount of RimWorld, if one's honest about things. According to Steam, I've put 2,000 hours into this game. In case anyone is curious, that breaks down into roughly 85 days of my life that I have sat playing RimWorld. Let's go ahead and not put that on the eulogy. Let's just leave that one off. If somebody gets up at my funeral, let's just not say, nice guy, little chaotic, sat on his butt and played RimWorld for 85 days. I think we can focus on more important parts of my life, but I love playing RimWorld. It is arguably my favorite game. One thing I am particularly guilty of, however, is playing RimWorld in exactly the same way. So regular viewers will be aware that I've been trying to mix it up a little bit on my end and make it a little more fun, a little more entertaining, possibly a little more challenging for me. New viewers will not be aware of that. New viewers I am inviting to take a ride on the Dave train. The Dave train has no clear tracks. There's no one at the wheel or is it the pedals with a train? Is it pedals? One of those lever things? I'm a little fuzzy on how trains work, if I'm honest about things, and I am. And I'm up on top with no pants on, screaming wildly. I am inviting everyone to take a ride on the Dave train, and a big part of the Dave train is RimWorld, so we are going to play some RimWorld today. So as I was sitting around last night thinking about RimWorld, because when I'm not playing RimWorld, I'm generally thinking about RimWorld, and Mrs. Dave just sort of looks at me and says, "You're thinking about RimWorld, aren't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah, kind of." I thought, what am I going to do on this run to mix it up a little bit? I always go crash landed, because it's a simple scenario that allows me to explore the game in the way that I want. But I thought this time, let's mix it up with a new scenario, something I haven't done before. I put out a poll and it was completely indecisive. Thanks, guys. It was all over the map. There was no clear winner onto what scenario we wanted to do. So I narrowed it down mentally in my head, where my brain lives. I narrowed it down mentally, again, where my brain lives, into Rich Explorer or the Sanguophage. Because Rich Explorer is fun. It's just one guy. He's got a lot of money. He's got a lot of cool stuff, but it's just one dude. Or the Sanguophage. We're going to get a vampire and a human, to feed off of. And I just went back and forth between Rich Explorer and Sanguophage. Long story short, let's have a vampire. So we're going to land with one Sanguophage, again, vampire, let's just keep it simple here, and one human to, do all our work and feed off of. Now we're landing with a lot of money, which is very, very fun, and some meals, and a bunch of blood, and then some of the usual things, medicine components, wood, steel, and no real weapons to speak of except for a steel longsword. That's interesting. I'll learn to cope with that information. A lot of this stuff I do want to leave on somewhat normal mode, so I think we'll kick it into adventure mode. Yeah, not too hard, not too easy. Let's just cope with our vampire here. One thing I do want to really, really tweak is the anomaly settings. Now, I have played Anomaly start to finish. I went right to the end game of Anomaly. We streamed it if you want to watch it. There's a playlist up on the channel, and one thing about Anomaly is it dominates the story. It's all Anomaly when you put Anomaly in, and there's not much room to do anything else. Now, we do have all of the DLC loaded in here: Anomaly, Biotech, Ideology, and Royalty. I'd like some of the other elements to filter in here, so instead of going the standard with Monolith, which is all Anomaly, all the time, all day, all night, 365, I'm going to go with Ambient Horror. So there's going to be some Anomaly, but not like all the Anomaly in the world. And we will absolutely be reloading anytime because I have a basic fear of commitment. That's not true. Ask Mrs. Dave. I don't actually have any fear of commitment. Let's see what we're going to get for some kind of world here. Just randomly generate something for me here. I've only got 2 people, and one of them drinks blood, so where am I going to put these people? Now, again, this is something that I generally traditionally do the same way every single time. I'm looking for large hills. I'm looking for about a 40 out of 60 growth rate for the land. I'd also like to be near the royals, if we can arrange that. That's the white pillar right here. Those are the royal encampments. See, down here, very, very crowded. A lot of people down here, and a lot of them want to kill me. That's what the skulls are all about. If I set up here, right in the middle of a war zone, what do we get? Yeah, see, year-round growing period. Honestly, I find that too easy. That's just food forever. Although, Again, we're dealing with a vampire. He probably doesn't want to eat rice and potatoes, but if for argument's sake I went up here, again, year-round growth rate, let's try and spin that to a completely different part of the planet. Where are the royals over here? Over there. Okay, so if I plunked myself down, say, here, we got small hills, again, year-round. Show me something that isn't year-round growth rate. That's a little too year-round. Year-round. Well, right up here by the Otternose Range, we've got a lovely little plot of land, 40 out of 60 growth days, which I think is fair. That's not too easy, that's not too hard. And we've got some of the normal things. We've got some sandstone, we've got some limestone, we've got some berries. And you're thinking to yourself, you're like, hey Dave, you're landing with a vampire. Dude probably doesn't want to eat a lot of potatoes. You're right about that. But here's the thing, it's not necessarily about growing food. I need to grow other things. I need to grow cotton, I need to grow heel root. There's all sorts of plants that we're going to need to grow that have nothing to do with food. Also, got a human. He's probably going to want to have a potato or two. So we're going to hang out here by the Otternose Range. This is going to be where we live. We are effectively dumping ourselves down again in the middle of a war zone. I've got 3 tribes around here who want to kill me, and 2 tribes who probably hate me on sight. So this is going to be fun. Now, ideology. Now, I had a chance last night to kind of go through the ideologies because I didn't want to sit here with you guys and go, okay, this one, no. Okay, this one, no. Okay, this one, no. So I thought to myself, I'm going to be doing a Sanguophage. I'm going to be doing a vampire character. So there's a couple of ideologies that I narrowed it down to. One was dark humans, which I think is fun. Bright light burns and destroys, darkness nourishes. So some folks who are going to want to live underground there. But then the problem there is got human primacy, and we're going to be surrounded by non-human characters. And honestly, I'm going to need some of them to join our colony. I don't need our Sanguophage and his human ally freaking out every time a pig man walks in. I kind of got down to blood worshippers because it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? It's a Sanguophage. It's a blood worshipper. So drinking blood is sacred. Blood feeders should be worshipped. You're entirely right about that. And that also gives me the darkness one. Bright light burns and destroys. Darkness is nourished. So they're going to want to be inside, underground, that kind of thing. And I think that's kind of fun. That's not something that I traditionally do. I was thinking about going straight to Feminine Ravagers, because that's the most badass name for a band I've ever heard. I would totally go see the Feminine Ravagers, and I would probably follow them from city to city going, oh my god, the Feminine Ravagers are playing. I've got to get a t-shirt. Cannibal just seems too obvious. I mean, we're going to get elements of cannibalism in Blood Worshippers anyway. Cannibalism seems too obvious. I do generally immediately go for techno-utopians because I do love a bit of transhumanism. Just rip your limb off and staple a toaster to it. I am all about that. Bloody dominators too, but that means we're going to have to go out and kill people, and I don't like to stray too close to home, and too far from home rather, in the early game. Martyrs was appealing. Hey, remember when I said I wasn't going to go through these one by one? Here I am going through them one by one. This was appealing, so because you got pain is a virtue, physical love and comfort are shameful. I mean, it just sounds terrible. It just sounds like a terrible, terrible way to live. But let's just go to blood worshippers, just because it makes sense. This is a Sanguophage with a human ally, somebody who worships him. We're going to go with this. Oh my god, I've got 2 people, and I've got to make everything happen. Oh, this is going to be interesting. I usually generally sit here and hit randomize for a while with 2 people. So again, 2,000 hours in RimWorld, 85 days of my life. I've got a really good idea of what I need to put together immediately. I need someone with a construction skill minimum 5, because that will allow me to build a freezer, and that means I can store food and, of course, blood safely and forever. Cooking skill is going to be important. Medical skill, important. Intellectual skill, important. Somebody who can shoot, maybe somebody who can stab. A plant skill of, I'm going to say I'd love to see 6 or higher, and if it was 8 or higher, that would be great too. And then, of course, I've got to deal with the traits and their health issues. So this may be a fair bit of sitting here, clicking this randomize button until I get the people that I want. Now, actually, right out of the gate, you're terrible at shooting, Sugar. You got a great name. But you've got my construction skill. You've got a plant skill of 6 or above. You have a medical skill of 9, and you have a burning passion for it. You're terrible at a lot of other things. You're not very good at crafting, and you can't cook. And you're incapable of dumb labor, and you're a pessimist. Yeah, see, here's the problem with that, Sugar. That's a permanent mood debuff of -6. It's going to be hard enough keeping you happy, what with the drinking blood thing and all. And you don't do any dumb labor. You won't clean, and you won't haul. Let me just take a quick look at your human ally here. Oh god, you're terrible. Yeah, you're a night owl masochist. I mean, neither of those are particularly terrible to deal with, but you can shoot a gun and not much else. You're smart, and you can shoot a gun. That's all I've got out of you. And here you can't do any violence at all. You are incapable of violence, and you're an asthmatic. That's not going to work out real well, although you do have an amazing medical skill. If I was doing Crash Landed, I'd think about taking you, because you could be supreme doctor. But no, I've really got to get a good balance of people here. Okay, talk to me, Whitehead. Pyromaniac. Yeah, see, what with the setting fires? Fire loves me, and it wants to be near me at all times. If you're a new viewer, you'll get used to that. My first RimWorld colony burned down in flames. Technically, my first RimWorld colony was destroyed when I opened up the Ancient Evil on day 1. I said, ooh, Ancient Evil, let's open that up, and then my colony wasn't there anymore. But my second colony burned to the ground because I had a pyromaniac who wouldn't put out fires and laid in bed and burned to death. You've got, actually, a broad range of skills. You're terrible at crafting, but everything else is pretty good. Okay, I can deal with pyromaniac, believe me. I've been dealing with fire in games for years. You start some fires, I'll put out some fires. Whitehead, I think you might be in. Let's readdress sugar here. So what am I missing in white bread? A higher plant skill would be nice, and any kind of crafting at all, and intellectual. Okay, now sugar, you make it on the intellectual, not so much on the crafting. See, crafting's going to be important. Not initially, but soon. Because crafting means stone blocks, and I want to make a lot of stone blocks. Let's just keep rolling the dice on you and see where we can get here. Again, crafting of 0, shooting of 0. Not only shooting of 0, that was a shooting of negative. You've obviously got a gene that is terrible with shooting. Come on, you're a vampire. You're supposed to be amazing at everything. Okay, you have a crafting skill and not much else, really, do you? You've got a social, you've got a bit of intellect. You've got a gene for it, though. Yeah, strong intellectual gene. So you were 0, but you're +4 because of your genetics. Okay, I'd love to kind of keep you on a back burner, but I can't do that. So, actually, can I? Hang on. Can I move you down? No, I can't. I've never really tried that before, and obviously that's not a thing. Okay, ooh, hang on. Take your finger off the trigger there, Dave. Seeing some broad skills there. Okay, it's a terrible crafting skill, but it can be improved. Construction of 2. Check Whitehead again. Construction of 7. Okay, my construction is covered on the whole building a freezer thing. You're good at melee, not so much at shooting, and you're kind of good at both. I mean, good, you're fair, you're competent. You can cook. You got a high plant skill. Artistic, I don't care about right now. Medical skill. You're just terrible at some basic stuff like construction and mining. And what's your problem here? You're lazy, so you're going to work slower. And you love fighting. And you love hurting people. And you don't care about blood or death. Of course not. You're a vampire. But you're 4 times as likely to start a social fight. Yeah, see, the only social person here is Whitehead. So I can't have you beating up our only other colonist. We're just gonna... For those new, this happens a lot. Come to a stream, and this is going to be me clicking randomize for a long, long time until I get... Ooh, hang on. Until I get what I want. Construction, mining, cooking, terrible. You can cook. Crafting of 2. I really would like a better crafting skill, please. Okay, crafting of 4 with a passion. No, for vampires, you guys are not impressing me. You're supposed to be better than this. I've read Anne Rice. You guys are supposed to be amazing at this sort of thing. And by this sort of thing, I mean literally everything. Okay, talk to me. Mila. You've got a crafting. You've got medical. You've got a degree of intellectual. You've got an intellectual gene, too. So cooking, very, very good. Melee, whatever. Construction and mining, you're terrible at. I can work with the construction low skill because I can just have you build basic stuff and you'll get better fairly quickly. Mining is terrible. Whitehead, your mining is broadly competent. You got my high plant skill. You have a crafting skill. Mila, The aromatherapist? Seriously, you're an aromatherapist? Wait, in the future, in space, we have aromatherapy? What does that actually mean? Okay, you can't shoot or fight, but your cooking is up, your plants is up, and your medical is up. Wow, aromatherapists are actually pretty good at things. Somebody should tell somebody. Okay, Mila, I've taken my finger off the mouse trigger here, if you will. And I'm kind of feeling both of you, Mila and Whitehead. You can't shoot, but you can stab. All right. I think I've got all of my skills covered here. I've got my construction. I've got my plants. I've got crafting. I've got 2 medical. And I have a degree of intellectual. And you're showing up with a bunch of blood and a human skull. Mila, just for that and the fact that you are an aromatherapist, that is amazing. So Mila, my aromatherapist Sanguophage, and Whitehead the bartender, you guys are starting this RimWorld run here. Oh, this is going to be a trip. When a dark stranger offered you a cure for cancer, you were ready to agree to anything. He made you into a Sanguophage, an immortal blood drinker, hated by 1,000 religions. You hid your condition for years, but a hunter eventually tracked you down, stowing away on the first starship, leaving the system. You barely escaped alive. Then came the crash. Only a few made it to the escape pods. You land on an unknown RimWorld and find that you are not alone. What will you do for the blood you need to survive? Well, obviously take it out of Whitehead. And that kind of goes without saying, doesn't it? All right, pop the pods and then slam it into pause mode. Okay. Let's get some stuff done here. So, first things first, allow everything. We do show up with a lot of money, which is very nice. I'm not opposed to that at all. We've got some steel. We've got some wood. We've got some prepared meals here. So get all of that. Before we get started, I want to look a little more closely at our ideology and figure out what we like and what we don't like kind of thing. So, ideology, the sect. That's what I like about this. Keep it simple. You know, people are putting in these crazy words for your religion. Just keep it simple. The sect. Okay? That's it. We're just a sect. The sect, in fact. So, what's your thing? You want to fight in darkness. You want dark light, which I've never really messed around with, actually. So, the dark light torches and that kind of thing. You revere blood feeders. Cool. Don't we all? Slavery, bad. Okay? Females can wear any clothing. Males have to wear pants. That's, I don't know, I might dispute that. Cannibalism is totally acceptable. We can eat people. Neat! That may come up, depending on how the food thing goes around here. So, we don't like corpses, we don't like being blind. We're okay with cannibalism. It's not preferred, we don't need to be cannibals, but if somebody comes along and they accidentally die by our hand, and we happen to accidentally chop them up and put them into a sandwich, that's totally cool. We're fine with that. We love eclipses, yay. We don't care if we execute someone, we don't want to eat fungus. Alright, you're meh on diversity of thoughts, you don't really care. You don't want insect meat. You will only have physical love between spouses. Okay, so no hippie free love communes going on around here. We're going to keep it nice and normal between spouses. Got it. And a lot of food you don't want. You don't want nutrient-based insect meat, all of that. Alright, you don't want to have scars. You're not crazy about skull spikes, but you're totally chill on organ use. Thank goodness, because I'm going to be ripping out so many organs. All right, what else have we got going on here? We got the leader roles, the divine light killer. Oh, Benelux's priest, and the mining specialist, because we have that with the darkness thing. So we have a mining specialist. Talk to me. So the role is whole head. Oh, that's fun. And you can mine 70% faster. That's huge. Somebody's just going to rip down a mountain with that, but you need a robe to do it. So, I'm kind of like looking into the future here. You're going to put on a bathrobe and tear down a mountain. That is very casual and very, very cool of you. You've got your buildings here, the kneel pillow for, kneeling on, and your various religious icons there. We've got relics out there somewhere. Don't know where they're. The bow of blood. And apparently we venerate boom rats. Great! I have no intention of killing them. Because, they go boom. And you're fine with hair and beards and tattoos. Okay. Next move, pan out. what have we got going on the map here? Although I'm trying to mix it up for myself a little bit in the way I play RimWorld, there are some common things that need to get done. We need to figure out where we are, what's around us, and what sort of resources we've got around here. Is that gold? That is gold over there. What I'm really looking for is steel. Okay, there's some... That's machinery. That's components. And I am not seeing a whole bunch of steel on this map. Got some more components down there and down there. Great, cool. I need steel. All right, a little bit over there. This is a big mountain, though. We could kind of carve this up over time. There's some steel. There's some more steel over there. A lot of components. That's great. I mean, components are hard to come by. I'll guarantee you right now, there's your Ancient Evil right there. There's your Ancient Evil. So there's something in there, and it's horrible. And eventually, we'll probably want to crack it open and deal with the horrible stuff. But we're just going to ignore this and say, you live over there and never come out of your box until we actually pop it open. I still remember that first colony. First day in RimWorld. Dave's like, do. Big warning, Ancient Evil, do not open, horrible, terrible, frightening nightmares. What does Dave do? Hey, let's pop that open. And then all of my colony was dead. Okay, it's a map. It exists. It's not perhaps my ideal. I do have some fertile soil down here, and I've got a geothermal geyser right there. That's going to come in handy. You know, what with the power and all. I'm also seeing an area that's fairly easy to defend. So we're going to want to put walls up at some point because people will try and murder us in the face. And the longer we play, the more people are going to come along and murder us in the face, especially when they hear about the blood drinking cannibalism thing. When they hear, like, yeah, that colony over there, they're totally cool about eating people. Everyone else is going to be like, yeah, no, we're not feeling that, really. Maybe we go murder them in the face, and then everyone else is going to be like, yeah, we should totally go murder them in the face, and then we're dead. So I'm seeing an area that is fairly easy to defend, and I've also got a couple of mountains I can carve into. I can already hear the comments section saying, don't carve into mountains, that's inviting a bug attack. You're right, it is. But I carve into mountains because they're wicked easy to defend, and I'll deal with the bugs as they come along. The really wonderful thing about RimWorld is there is no one right way to play it. Now, people will tell you there is. People will tell you, if you don't do this, you're going to fail. No, I completely dispute that. I adapt to RimWorld, not the other way around. I do what I need to do to get through RimWorld without it having any one right way or one magical min-max way to play RimWorld. If you want to play RimWorld like that, totally cool. Like, do your thing. But I like to let the game sort of throw things at me, and I'll adapt to that. Thank you very much. There is no one right way to play RimWorld. There's a lot of good ways to play RimWorld, and there's a lot of bad ways to play RimWorld. Hey, if you want a really bad way, open up the Ancient Evil on day one. See how that goes for you. But there's no one right way. And really, like, hardcore RimWorld viewers, like the people who have put way more hours than me and totally min-max RimWorld, I'm going to tell you right now, you should not watch this because you will spend most of this slamming your head against the wall. The pain will go away after time, and you'll be left with a dull frustration watching me play this, but somehow I get through this. Okay, that's probably enough looking around. Let's actually try to get something done around here. One thing I don't have is a lot of wood. Let's start with some fundamentals here. Let's prioritize everyone. So, manual priorities. You, Whitehead, you won't do any firefighting, but I'll learn to cope with that because your vampire overlord will. Mila, I'm already a fan. So everyone needs to be number one on patient. So when they are injured, they will go and get better. You are definitely going to be number one on doctor. If there is an injured person, Mila, you just rush over there and deal. But Whitehead, you're not terrible at doctor either. You can be number two on doctorizing. And everybody needs to be number one on bed rest. So once they have healed themselves or been healed after being a patient, they will continue to stay in bed until they are actually fully healthy and not walk around the place bleeding. Don't care about childcare right now. Don't have any kids. Basic, flipping switches, opening things, closing things, that kind of thing. We're just not going to sweat that right now. Wardening we will sweat later because that's dealing with prisoners, which I'm really, really going to need. I've only got 2 people here, and that is about 28 less than I would ideally like to have for a colony. Oh yeah, that's another thing that'll make the min-maxers angry. I have 25, 30 people in a colony at any given point, and everyone's like, you should only have 10. I'm like, no, I'm going to take literally anyone. I don't care. They can mop a floor. Handling, don't care. Don't got a pet. Cooking. Okay, so obviously Mila, I'm going to put you at 2 for the moment because we have food. We don't need to immediately rush to make food. And Whitehead, you can cook, so let's do that. Hunting, we have no ranged weapons. So there's no point having anyone on hunting right now until we actually get some sort of ranged weapon, whether by crafting one or buying one. Construction, okay, so I've got, again, I do play RimWorld a very common way often, especially in my initial setup. Everybody does construction, growing, mining, and plant cut, whether they're good at it or not. Because it's just a lump job that needs to get done. And you know what? They will get better over time. So I know you're terrible at this, but you are going to do construction. However, Whitehead is much, much better at it. I haven't found a number 1 for you yet. It might be construction. Everybody does. In fact, I'm going to put you at 2 on plant cutting and growing because you're actually quite good at it. Everybody does mining. Right? Everybody does mining around here. I'm not going to sweat the crafting skills right now, smithing, tailoring, and crafting, because we're not doing anything right now. Hauling and cleaning, who's not doing anything vitally important right now? Well, either of you. It's in pause mode, Dave. Neither of you is doing anything. So I'm going to have... No, Whitehead has to do construction. So I'm going to put Mila temporarily on hauling 1 so we can move stuff around. We got to get all this stuff under some kind of roof. There's a lot of food and blood here. So, you know, deterioration. You don't want to leave your blood out on a ground. Or any ground. The ground. I mean, there's really only one ground. Is there really? I mean, there's really only one ground, right? Like, there's the planet Earth. That is the ground. So I really would never say a ground or some ground. I would say the ground. All the ground is the ground, right? Is that getting too philosophical about basic geography? Is that geography or is that topology? I'm never really sure about that. I'm a little fuzzy, just like I am with trains. Let's make some stuff. So I'm going to order them. Just chop down that for right now. I think we're going to move into this mountain fairly soon. I get this car out of the way. But for right now, we're just going to do some basics. A wooden wall. Yes, I am aware that wood burns. It won't be wood forever. He says optimistically it might be wood forever. So put up some wooden walls like here and here. And then put like a door here and a door here. And then start a stockpile zone for everything. Just put anything you want in there. That's cool. Just move it all over there. 1, so I can get a count up here so I know what I've got of everything. And then 2, so it will eventually be under a roof. Need colonist beds. Gonna work on that. I actually didn't really need to designate these to be cut down. They're gonna cut them down anyway when they build the roof. But hey, here we are. All right, let's get some bedrooms set up here. So do a wooden wall. So I see like a corridor here. Let's do a wooden wall to there. Make sure you leave enough room that you can eventually get to that geothermal. That's not going to be like tomorrow morning or anything, but eventually we're going to need to get to that. And then we're going to do 3 bedrooms. Hey, wait a minute, Dave. You've only got 2 colonists. You don't need 3 bedrooms. You're right. I do only have 2 colonists. Well spotted there, gentle viewer, and excellent work on the mathematics. But eventually... See, RimWorld plays RimWorld in a traditional manner, too. In this, sort of scenario here, I'm going to tell you exactly how this is going to go down. The first thing that RimWorld's going to throw at me is a small, inoffensive animal. Guinea pig, squirrel, rat. Take your pick. It's just going to be a small animal that we'll take out. The next thing that RimWorld is likely to throw at me is a raid. I mean, I say the word raid, that sounds a little more glamorous than it really is. It's going to be a naked guy with a knife, or a stick, or a spear, or a club, or some largely inoffensive weapon. And chances are good, though not guaranteed, that we'll be able to take them alive. And therefore, we need a prison. So you're right. Again, mathematically, I do not need 3 bedrooms where I only have 2 colonists. But I'm going to need an extra bedroom in the reasonably near future. Mila, I see you're bringing the skull in first. Great. I mean, we're going to use that primarily decoratively, but good job making sure you get that in before, you know, the blood you need to survive. Well done, Mila. Okay, Whitehead's working on the storage area. We're going to run out of wood very, very quickly, but that's fine. They'll start chopping some trees down next. I got to think about setting up some sort of growing zone. I've got a little bit of fertile soil here. That's the darker stuff there. And a little bit of fertile soil over here. So usually my first move is to dump down 2 wind turbines in fertile soil and then do growing areas around them. Because obviously the wind turbines are not going to work if there's trees growing around them, and the growing zones will keep the trees at bay. Also, I'm pretty sure that lynx is going to try and kill us. It looks hungry. What are my other options in terms of that? Not much. That's pretty much my only fertile soil right there. So just for having the conversation about wind, which I'm not, but a wind turbine, if I were to put this, say, like this, I can't put it too close. If I tuck it right there, that kind of borks where I want to put other stuff, though, doesn't it? How about if we put it here? Okay. How about we flip the script here? We're not flipping the script, actually. I don't have a script. I never work with a script. One time I kind of pre-thought something out, and that didn't really work out. So I don't work with it. I don't care about the happy tree. Okay? We will tear down the happy tree. Don't worry about the happy tree. It's a happy tree. Makes everyone happy. So I don't work with a script. So I'm not flipping the script. I'm flipping the wind turbine. But I could do... It's one there, and then one there. That'll still leave me room in here to do things I haven't thought of yet. And then I need a growing zone. So how about we do... Obviously, this is not going to be all in fertile soil, but it'll be somewhat in fertile soil. Now, did that cover the area that I need? Yeah, amply covers that area. Potatoes, yeah. Everybody loves potatoes. It's true. It's science. Everybody loves potatoes. If you don't love potatoes, you're wrong. Now, let's get this. Obviously, I don't have a lot of growing soil here, but this will cover what I need. Let's throw some rice in there because it's smaller. It'll grow faster, but we'll get more of it over the long haul because it's going to grow really, really fast. And then on the back side, we're going to need the same thing. So we don't get some trees there, but not as much. So here, I'd love to see cotton. I'm going to need to grow cotton sooner rather than later. So I may as well get that party started. It's not really much of a party. It's just sort of growing cotton. And then in this tiny one here, this actually be a great spot for heel root. So throw some heel root in there. Okay. That's my basics under control. That's usually my, first minutes in RimWorld done, as I traditionally do. Not a lot of surprises here. Now, Mila and Whitehead, how are you guys doing over here? Just talk to me about what's going on with you. You have low expectations. You should, kid. Initial optimism, and you are a revered blood feeder, so Whitehead just loves you. You're soaking wet. You're in a little bit of... What are you in a little bit of pain from? Oh, old gunshot and stab scar in your left arm. And your genes have been ripped out recently. It's going to take a while for those to grow back. So 1.5 years before I could theoretically make somebody else a sanguophage. So if we go down to implant genes here, I could implant Mila's genes into a willing subject. And then that person will become a sanguophage. However, if they're regrowing, which they are for the next 1.5 years, Mila will die. So not really ideal. We're going to have to wait a while for that. That's going to take a while. Okay, so there's your pain issue. Understood. You're hungry. Okay, blinding light. Yeah, we're going to try and cope with that. You guys don't like light. I get it. I've never really fussed with this particular ideology before, so this is much interesting to me as it is anyone else, and it's really only interesting to me when you get right down to it. Mila, how'd you do in the whole moving things? Yeah, you're kind of just going for a walk, aren't you? Just Mila the vampire out in the sun, going for a walk in the sun, Mila, that you hate. It's actually your religion to hate the sun, and your choice is to hate the sun outside in the sun, just staring up the sun going, curse you, Curse you, son. If only there was some sort of indoor area that I could go to not look at you. Technically, Mila, you're not wrong. The roof hasn't been put on yet and the walls aren't up yet. But eventually, you could turn that frown upside down, Mila, and be inside where it's nice and dark. You going to go get some more steel? Yeah, you hauling some steel to the stockpile zone? You having fun with that? Hey, Whitehead, what are you up to? You were also going for a walk in your hated sunlight. How are you doing? What's your gig? Again, low expectations and initial optimism. Your recreation is fully satisfied. Not by me, it wasn't. I didn't authorize that. No blood feeder master. Huh. Okay, so is this an ideology thing? We need to make somebody the blood feeder master. So social. I don't want to do this right now, but can I assign that? Alter ideogram or ritual spot. Got it. So, again, just for having the conversation, it's really more of a monologue when you get right down to it. If I put down a ritual spot, just there, can I do a role change? So Mila could become the divine light killer, or that's about it. Okay, I need three more people who believe in this before we do anything about that. All right, so talk to me about that again, Whitehead. What's your gig? What's your problem? Why are you so sad? No blood feeder master. Without a blood feeder master, we lack proper direction. We should make a blood feeder our leader. Okay, so you want the leader role. All right, read things slightly more carefully, Dave. So you want the leader role, where did I put that thing? Which we can't do until we have more of us. So I can do, like, the moral priest guy, but I can't, hang on. Whitehead, you're confusing me. Again, it's the first time I've used this ideology, so now I actually have to, play RimWorld for a bit instead of doing it with my eyes closed, half asleep. So, Mila, if I were to change your role, I could change, there we go, the leader. All right, so you could be the leader, and that will cheer Whitehead up. There's no particular reason not to do that. So, and you have a daughter somewhere. Sari Tang is your daughter somewhere in the world. Don't know where. Maybe she'll turn up. Who knows? And you've been talking about bell peppers to Whitehead, and bitter foods, and poker. We don't do bell peppers. We're into potatoes, if you want that. Is there any reason I should not make Mila the light killer now? And I can't find a reason not to. It'll make Whitehead a little happy, now that they've got a leader. So we're going to do that. We're going to have Mila hang out. It's dark out, so you guys must be pretty happy. So it is dark out now, right? It's dark out. Ate without a table, uncomfortable. Yeah. So now, I'm thinking about the darkness thing. What I probably should do is just have them work at night. So what if we said, you're going to sleep from, say, let's see, the night owl trait is 11 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock in the evening. That's their sleeping time. Or at least that's when they don't want to be awake. How about we said that, and we said anything? Now, when I play RimWorld, that's as fussy as I get. I'm not putting in recreation or meditation time or anything like that. I'm just banging it down to anything. And then they can just figure themselves out. They can do whatever the heck they want to do. Now, the min-maxers of the RimWorld world. Anyway, the min-maxers of RimWorld will be patiently marking these exactly how they want, and I won't. And the great thing is we're both right. Isn't that fun? So Mila is going to be our leader momentarily. There we go. Okay, so Mila is our leader. Whitehead, does that make you happier now that Mila is the divine light killer? Yes. Yeah, you've got a blood feeder master now, so you are +2 on that. You're uncomfortable. What? Oh, you want something to sit on. Okay, you want a bed. I get you. You are kind of sleeping on the floor. You're not wrong about that. We're working on it, Whitehead. What else do you think I need besides beds? You need holding platforms. That's for the anomaly entities. Again, we've kind of dialed down anomaly. Hopefully that's not going to happen immediately. And we need batteries because we've learned how to make power. We don't need batteries right now, I assure you. What we do need are power lines. So I do love the hidden conduits. That was added in anomaly. It's just fantastic. Means they don't have to see them. It's more steel. It's one more steel than a regular... You know what, just do it. You know you love them, Dave. You know you do. You know you're absolutely in love with hidden conduits because you don't have to see the power lines anymore. So they'll get that done eventually. They're probably... I've just messed with their sleep schedule. I've just turned their whole world topsy-turvy, upside down, back and forth, round and round. They don't know if they should be asleep or awake or somewhere in between. Whitehead's decided to have a nap near the wind turbine. And Mila's cutting down a tree. Everything is going great. I'm going to leave these guys to it and kind of scout out the map a little bit more. Now that I said that, I've thought of something else. I think of things occasionally. Hey, Mila, while you're there, hold that thought. You're not bad at melee. Why don't you grab that longsword? Now, the thing is, we don't have any ranged weapons for Whitehead here. So what if we put down a crafting spot, say, here in sort of general storage, and we made, which we should be able to make easily, a bow. All right, it's about the best I'm going to get right now. So we're going to make a bow out of wood, primarily. Where are we at in research? Do I have any research restrictions or things that I know? I already know air conditioning. I know nutrient paste. I already know death rest, obviously, because we've got a sanguophage. So and that's going to give me a lot of stuff. That gives me the death rest casket, and then a whole bunch of stuff to make death rests just more fun for everyone. Hemopump, hemogen amplifier, glucosoid pump, a psycho fluid pump, all sorts of pumps. We're just pumping Mila full of anything we want while she's in death rest that she's going to need to do periodically. She's going to need to have a very, very multi-day long nap. But a lot of those things could accelerate that. We're not going to sweat that right now. Let's get some fundamentals under control, like a roof of any sort. Okay, Whitehead's still asleep. Mila's cutting down trees. All of this is good stuff. Who's my good planty person? Yeah, that's Mila. Let's have you get number one-ing on these two. Really focus on that, because Whitehead can handle most of the construction. In fact, all of the construction, if we're honest about things. And we are. And then I also kind of want that bow done. Why don't you be one on crafting as well? Okay, so basically whip over, do the bow. And that's the only crafting task we've got right now. And then kind of just do your own jam when you feel like it, Mila. You are loving the rice. You're probably hating the fact that it's light out, right? You're hating this, aren't you? Sunlight sensitivity and blinding light. Yeah, I gotta get these people underground. Oh, you already want special clothes. You want a broad wrap as the Divine Light Killer. Also, awesome band name. I would totally see them open up for somebody else. Whitehead's chopping down trees in here, which is great. We can get the roof going fairly soon, and that'll keep a lot of our food sort of not deteriorating quite as quickly. The next thing to think about is some sort of freezer and or kitchen area. How much food do I have? Not much. I got 24 meals right now and a bunch of blood. The blood is not food, though. And the blood is nice. All the vampires love the old blood stuff, but it ain't food. Mila's fallen over. Mila, why have you fallen over in the sun? You hate the sun. You're particularly fussy about that, if we're honest about things, and we are. So a kitchen area. I mean, my power is going to be under control within a quantity of time. Oh dear, Whitehead's fallen over too. You're having a nap. At least you're in the shade. I mean, that's kind of cool, right? You're in the shade. Wow, you hate everything right now. You slept on the ground. You slept outside. You slept in the cold. It's 75 degrees out. Under nobody's definition is that cold. That is, in fact, perfectly comfortable. That is ideal temperature. You tell me it's 75 out, that's like my best day. Not 70, not 80. 75, perfect. Okay? So don't even tell me that it is cold. It is not cold. That is completely unfair. All right. Let's get... They don't have any other things they need to do this, but let's start to get some beds going on. So I'm going to do a double bed here and a double bed here, and then just a quick single bed in here for my eventual prisoner who will show up at some point. Hopefully we will be able to take them alive, because I'm going to need everyone I can get out of this. I need all the colonists. 25 would be nice. I'll take 30. I know. I can hear the min-maxer saying, well, 10 is optimal. Anything after 10. No, go ahead. Give me everyone. Give me somebody with 0 skills. I'll just have them mop a floor or something like that. Whitehead cutting some more trees down. Excellent. And of course, that's going to produce the wood I need to finish off the rest of the building. Hey, Mila, what are you up to these days? You're still planting the potatoes there. Mila, Can I have you focus, please, on the bow making? All right, if you could just bang that bow out real quick, that way Whitehead can have it, and we could actually get some hunting done around here. We're going to need food at some point. Speaking of food, I know we're chill on cannibalism. We're, like, totally cool with cannibalism, but did we bring any cannibal food? Okay, all I've got there is just packaged survival meal. It doesn't tell me what's in it, which is unfortunate. No. Okay, so I don't know what kind of food is in there. It's just generic food that's not going to go off, like, super quick, but will go off eventually, and you just made the bow. Whitehead, excellent. Finish cutting that tree down, and then equip that short bow. All right, so now I could put you on hunting. You're going to be 2 on hunting. We're not hunting right now, but we will probably pretty soon. If I could get my kitchen set up first, that would be great, but to do that, I'd really love to make that out of stone blocks. I don't want a lot of wooden structure here. 1, because I'm going to have to replace it at some point with, something that doesn't burn, and 2, it burns. So if we get struck by lightning, we're having a bit of a bad day. Obviously, it's what I've got to work with initially, but I'd love to not have the rest of my structure be stone block. I would love to get rid of this car. That is such a waste of time right now. Mila, I know you're meditating. Can you come over here? Can you smash a car with a sword? Oh, you can. Okay, neat. Good. Beat up the car. I think it's a caddy. Just beat it up. Smash that thing. All right, just rip the tires off. Rip the engine off. Rip everything off. Just destroy it. There we go. Thank you, Mila. Appreciate it. That just gets that out of the way. Thank you so much. Because now I've got a feeling I'm going to go from here to here. And we will begin to tunnel into the mountains so you guys don't have to be outside, except when you're doing the gardening kind of thing. But a kitchen, that's going to need to live pretty soon. Okay, roof is up in here. Let's get some things going on here. The first thing I want to put up is the stone-cutter's table. So let's put that up there, and we'll put in a chair, because that means they're going to work faster, and they'll be a little bit more comfortable, which is no bad thing. Let's start to get this dark light thing under control here. So the wall lamp, I'm not 100% sure if I can change that to dark light. I don't know. I've never done the dark light stuff before. But just for kind of prepping that in advance, let's do the regular power conduit here, because it'll be in a wall. They won't see it, so they're not going to get all fussy about it. And then bring that over to here. How are we on steel, by the way? We don't, have any, do we? We're already out of steel. Okay, is there any local nearby steel? There's some over here. Anything maybe right up here? No. Let's get... It's kind of not really the right time to start mining, but we kind of need to start mining. I've got to get some kind of steel in here. You don't have any steel for this, do you? Yeah, you need 30 steel. Who would like to go on numero uno mining? Whitehead, I kind of need you on construction. Mila, I know this sounds like a terrible idea, because you're terrible at mining, but you're going to go do mining, so Whitehead can focus on more important things like building everything. Oh, one of the beds is up. It's still technically outdoors, but that could be for Mila, because Mila rules everything around here, what with her being the leader. I see you're about to have a bit of a freak out. What is the problem today? Okay, I know you want special clothes. You slept outside. We're curing that soon. You slept on the ground. We're curing that soon. You're soaking wet. I can't do much about that. You're uncomfortable. That'll be better when you have a bed. Speaking of which, how did we do on this bed? Normal. Okay, it's a normal bed. That's fine. I can cope with that. Good or excellent would be better, but here we are. So, yeah, there you go, Mila. Okay? I know you're still technically outside because you're missing a bit of your wall, but we're working on this. Unsightly, minor pain, sunlight. Many of these issues I can cure by just putting up a bedroom. My experience in RimWorld is colonists will put up with a tremendous amount of abuse if you just give them a nice bedroom. They can be all sorts of mad about stuff, but they go in, they have a really good night's sleep in a nice room with a nice bed, and they're like, yeah, you know what? Life is not that bad. It's okay around here. So hopefully when Mila gets up, she's done a lot of the planting. The potato field is going to take a little while longer, but she's got all the cotton in. It looks like she might have almost all of the heel root in. Yeah, she's going nuts on the planting here. Get that tree out of here. And then I need a bunch of steel. I need, all the steel in the world. Actually, this is a really good vein right here. Somebody go mine that out. And by somebody, I mean Mila. Mila's the only one doing that. And hopefully when Whitehead gets up, there should be enough wood here to finish off everything. I think we're going to be in good shape with that. Especially Mila just took down another tree, and there's another couple of trees that are going to come down here. Love to get all these stone blocks out of here, stone chunks rather, but she'll move the ones out of the way that are in the way of the planting, and then the rest of them we can, turn into stone blocks later. You're getting this done. Whitehead, why are you asleep and Mila's awake? We did change that correctly, right? Yeah, you guys should be asleep. Oh, visitor. Hang on. I've got to do a thing here. All right, Dwayne from the Treaty of Shorenor. All right, here's the deal, Dwayne. You might indeed have some stuff. It's probably not going to be that good. Just for thinking, the Treaty of Shorenor. If I were to kill Dwayne, just saying. I'm not saying I'm going to kill Dwayne. I'm just having the conversation about killing Dwayne. If I were to kill Dwayne, how do you guys like me in general? You're totally neutral. Okay, Treaty of Shorenor, totally neutral to me. Poinclom hates me. Gokislo hates me. And these guys are all pirates. They just automatically hate me. Broken Empire, the Royals, they're neutral right now. All right, so nobody likes us, which is not surprising. I mean, we just got here, and I just threatened to kill one of them. So I'm not surprised they're a little meh about us. Who is my most social person, please? Who is most social around here? Mila, not bad. Actually, they're both exactly the same. Well, Mila, you're the leader. So, Mila, go talk to Dwayne here. No, go. Why are we not talking to Dwayne, Mila? Mila, can you... What is your problem, Mila? Mila? What? No, Mila. Thank you. Why are you not talking to Dwayne? Okay, apparently we don't want to talk to Dwayne. Apparently Dwayne's got nothing to trade. Yeah, you're right. You don't have the big question mark, so you're just swinging by. I could kill him. No. Let's not rush to murder. There's plenty of time to murder. You know what? Let's do something more genteel. Let's harvest that heal root. No, just take the heal root out. Okay, we're gonna have some heal root. Okay, we're gonna have some nice medicine. We're not gonna rush to murder people who just arbitrarily walk by. Also, he's got a firearm and we don't. So, we probably should be a little conservative about who we plan to murder and who we don't. Whitehead, that is your bed now. And if you could really focus on finishing out the walls and things, boy, that'd be super, wouldn't it? Because then you'd actually be inside and you'd be a lot more comfortable, wouldn't you? Yeah, you're banging that right out. Okay, that's one room technically under a roof. And you're probably, hopefully, going to finish off the other one. Now you're going to do the prison first. That is sensible. I see where you're going with that. You're going to have to take that tree down. Where's Mila these days? You are finishing off the rice. And then you're sewing that one thing in there. Okay. Good. So you're moving some blocks around, some chunks around. This will be done momentarily. Boy, you are good at that. You are very, very fast at that. What is your skill again on that? Yeah, plants 9. Good choice on me. That'll cover everything I need right now. I should think... and this will come as no surprise to regular viewers, I should think about how many drugs we want around the place. Because drugs are your path to profit in RimWorld. You want to make some money? Get into the narcotics game. Boy, I could start doing that right now. Here's the thing. Okay, let's reel-list Mila. You're finally getting some mining done. This is going to take you forever. Whitehead, are you also doing mining? Oh, you are. Okay, you must be out of things to build. Great, cool. This will go a little bit faster. So, here's the thing. I don't know how to make drugs yet. Well, I know how to make a limited amount of drugs. So, research. I could get into drug production right now. Basic drug synthesis. Okay, and that will get me over to psychic refining and that kind of thing. Hardcore narcotics are absolutely an easy path to profit in RimWorld. Dwayne's leaving. Dwayne's like, they kind of vaguely threatened to murder me, so I'm like totally out of here. Drugs are a great path to profit, but I don't know how to make drugs yet. And drugs take a long time to grow. I could eventually research them, but we haven't even started on research, and there's other things I need to know more. What I will do, because I will have a freezer area up fairly soon, is I'm going to start growing some drugs. And then we'll kind of figure it out from there. This is going to suck up Mila's time a little bit, but let's just start to make some psychoid. And then I will figure out what to do with it later. They're not even leaving this. They're just using it the second they get it. Is that silver? Oh, good. There's just hardcore money down here. Oh, there's a path to profit right there, isn't there? Mila, yeah, you're building probably a power cable. Ooh, the stonecutter who's-a-McWhat's-it is up and running. Great. I need a lot of stone blocks, and I don't really care what they are. So make, I don't know, say 25 sets of stone blocks. Later, when I've got more people, I'll probably put someone doing this forever. But right now, I just need a quantity of stone blocks, not like all the stone blocks in the world. So everyone's got a bed, which is inside. How is Whitehead's bed, by the way? It's a good bed. Okay, great, good. So you will be much more comfortable, and you'll stop whining about things. Well, you'll whine about fewer things anyway. You're going to whine all the time. Mila's sewing some drugs up here. Mila's like, yeah, path to profit right here. Path to profit is hardcore narcotics. Just effectively become a drug dealer in RimWorld, and you're going to be very, very, very wealthy in a not a small amount of time either. You know, fairly decent amount of time. So stone blocks ready to go. Let's evaluate. Let's see where we are here. Everybody's got a bed, which is indoors. Storage is inside, covered. I was going to let's put up a couple of those dark actually, do two things for me, because I don't know if I can make the wall lamps into dark light. So put up one dark torch for Mila, and put up a standing lamp here. I want to see what it does. I want to see if we can turn that from regular light into dark light. I don't actually know the answer, but it's going to be as simple as clicking on the thing when I'm done with it. Mila, you're off to sew more drugs. Great move, kid. Great. Path to profit, Mila. Path to profit, Mila. So back to evaluation. Everyone's got a room. Storage is inside. We've got food growing. We have power. And we're starting to get some steel under control for everything else that I'm going to need to build fairly soon. The next project is definitely going to be a freezer. Because without that, all of our food's going to go off, and we'll be constantly having to hunt and butcher and kill and cook all the time instead of just storing a bunch of food like a sensible person, you know, in a freezer or a refrigerator like I do, like in my own life. Like, I got food from a refrigerator today. It was spinach. It's been there for quite a while. Well, quite a while is an exaggeration. You actually can't keep spinach for that long. But, you know, it had been there for a few days. And it was perfectly good because it had been refrigerated. See, that's kind of what we're shooting for here in the old RimWorld. We're shooting for our food not going bad. And that blood, I can't imagine that's going to last forever, too. So, guys, I think that's an excellent place to wrap it up on this first little part of RimWorld. Do please let me know what you thought of this in the comments below. And hey, if you enjoyed the video, do please leave a like down below. It does cheer me up no end when people do that. And if you're new to the channel, maybe just checking it out for the first time, feel free to hit that subscribe button. See more of this ridiculous nonsense. Until then, I'm Dave. Thank you, as always, for joining me in the wee hours, and we'll see you next time. You know what, kids? I'm the camp counselor who's going to teach you the truth. All right? None of this mamby-pamby kumbaya nonsense. All right? We're learning the truth here. The truth is death and disappointment and theft. Basically, I did the theft. Everything else is on you. Robot, how do we rescue you? I don't know how to rescue you. I'm also not sure I ever knew you were a woman. So once again, the fish are on fire, and you're on fire. Isabella is in fact on fire. The YouTube Awards ceremony for the best YouTubers of the time. I think this may be a mild exaggeration. I look like I'm paralyzed with fear and or hunger up on stage there.